everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial from the worlds of Middle-earth. It's just one world. From MESBG, yes, we are back once more, and we have the all-new Hill Tribesmen Commanders, 1, 2, and 3, and we have the old, but still kind of new, Oathmaker over here. So this is the old Forge World one, and you can now build this guy out of this guy. But we only had one copy of this. That Games Workshop very kindly sent me early to build up and paint with all of you. So what we have done is we've got the Forge World one so that you can do this scheme on the other version of this guy, who also has the two-handed weapon and the shield. I checked. He can use them both, just not at the same time, but I just thought this weapon was much cooler, and the sort of hand without anything in it kind of looked a bit silly to my mind. So this is what we've done here. So yes, so we've painted the Hill Tribesmen before, and we are going to be sort of mostly just following in our previous footsteps as we did before. Then really, I guess the main thing is when we get to doing this banner is probably the main difference here. Now, for those of you who followed the Hill Tribesmen video before, you'll be no stranger to the things that we're going to be doing here, and we're going to be sort of going back and forth quite a lot, although not quite as much as we did in that previous video. So the colour we're going to be using first, after I've told you that these have all been primed in grey Seer, the colour that we're going to be using first is Black Legion, and we're just going to be starting off. There will be more Black Legion details. This colour will appear several times throughout the video, but we're just going to be starting things off by applying this Black Legion over the top of all of their shoes. Nice and simple to kick things off. So with that Black Legion applied to the boots, we're then going to take some Skeleton Horde. And we're going to apply this over top of the entirety of these sort of wraps on the legs. With all that Skeleton Horde applied, we're then going to take some Wyldwood. We're going to apply this over top of the bindings on those wraps. We're also going to apply this over top of all of their trousers. So with that all done, things are going to deviate a little bit here. So the next colour we're going to use is a roughly 2 parts Black Templar to 1 part Lahmian Medium. We're going to start over here on our captain. We're going to apply this, well, where I'm applying it basically. So it's going to be over the top of the sort of the next. It's just a little bit too much Black Templar just there. I'm just trying to absorb. Got it. There we go. Alright. So, just want to be careful of that sort of hanging bit of cloth just there as well. So, we're going to be applying this over the top of this kind of next rung up for this guy. We are also going to be applying this over the top of the other 2 plastic members of the command in similar areas, but we'll get to that in just a second. Apply this like so. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. We do also have the next half of it to go as well, but we're also going to be applying this over the top of the shirt sleeves as well for this guy. Now, for the other 2 members of the command, we're actually skipping the next rung up, basically. And we are going over the top of this bit. And we're not using this on the Oathmaker. For our next colour, we're going to take some Garaghak Sewer. I'm going to use this to effectively do the next rung up. But mostly, here we are, focusing on the old Oathmaker. So we're going to apply this Garaghak Sewer over the top of his next rung up. Which would be all of his clothes. Really? Whereas on these guys, what we're going to do is we're going to apply this over the top of the sort of sashy bits. Next up, we're going to take some Snakebite Leather and we're going to apply this over the top of all of the pelts. So for these two, there's this sort of slightly heavier leather / armor bits that we're going to take some Ratling Grime and apply this over the top of. So it's this bit here. Like that. And this bit going up here on that guy. And with that all done, we're then going to take some Cygor Brown and we're going to apply this over pretty much all the remaining sort of body cloth across all four. So with that all done, we now need to sort of do the wrist wraps the same as the leg wraps. So we're going to do that now, starting with the skeleton horde and then using the Wyldwood to do that. However, we are also going to use this skeleton horde to paint in any bones, and we're going to use this Wyldwood to paint in any wood. So with that now done, we're going to take some Gore-Grunta Fur and we're going to apply this over top of all of the ropes, but we're also going to apply this over top of this individual's hair as well. And with that all done, we're then going to take some Black Legion and we're going to apply this over top of this crow. And we're going to apply this over the top of the cable ties on the banner. And we're going to apply this over the top of the hair of the Oathmaker. And the chieftain / captain. And for our banner bearer's beard, we're going to use some Nuln Oil. With all of our hair and beards now base coated, we're going to take some Fyreslayer Flesh and we're going to apply this over the top of all the skin. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Seraphim Sepia and apply this over the top of the flag. And with that Seraphim Sepia applied, we're now going to take some Iron Warriors. I'm going to apply this over the top of all of our remaining details, of which there are not very many at all. So now that all of our base coats are fully applied, it's time to add some shades. And the first of these is going to be some Agrax Earthshade. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to apply this over the top of the wraps where we did the skeleton horde. Just like this. It's on the legs and the arms. And we're also going to apply this over the top of the Black Templar. And we're going to apply this over the top of the Wyldwood clothing. And with that Agrax Earthshade all applied, we then take some Nuln Oil and apply this over the top of the silver. So with those shades applied, our Dunlanding or Hill Tribesmen Commanders are now what I would call a Warhipster battle ready. However, we're not going to leave them there, no, we're going to take them to the next level, and we're just going to do 4 things, although one of those is freehand on the banner, so yeah. Anyway, the colour we're going to start with is Karak Stone. We're going to use this to dry brush basically the entire model. So we're using this to dry brush all of our brown and all of our black and all of our hair and all of our leather and all of our clothes. We're not applying this over top of the metallics, of course, but things like that wood there, and going across here, down here, across the legs. Like I said, basically all of the model. With that Karak Stone dry brush all applied, we're then going to take a teensy tiny little bit of Black Legion. We're going to apply this over the top of their eyeballs. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Ironbreaker. And use this to highlight the silver. So with that all done, we've just got one thing left to do, which is all of the freehand on the banner. And, well, this is just a matter of spacing and patience. So the colour we're going to be using for this is some thinned down Gal-Vorbak Red. And what we're going to do is we're going to start over here on this side by drawing a little line coming from that part of the turn back, coming down, like so, to just above that hole in the fabric. Then what we're going to do is just pinch off that tiny little bit of dust. So then what we're going to do over on the other side is we now know that this is where this side of the bird ends. The other side of the bird is going to be just here. Like that. So this is the area in which we have to play. So the next thing to do is to pop a dot here for one wing, and over on here for the other. Then we're going to join those up. A nice curved line. like that, and that one actually intersects with the hole that's there. We then, right between the middle of them, want to do a dot for the top of the bird's head. Then we want to draw a little triangle for the bird's beak. Like that. And then what we want to do is pop a little dot around about here and around about there. And then similarly, we want to join these up. Like that. And now we need to draw a slightly wider circle, triangle for the bird's neck. Like this. And then we join these two wings up. Like that. That's part one. The other part is we're now going to come down directly from here. We're going to draw out the bottom of the bird's plumage. We're drawing a line here and a line there. I'm going to connect them like that, which gives us the space for a leg here and a leg coming down here as well. One thing I should say as well is if you make any mistakes, the reason we went with Seraphim Sepia in the first place is so that we can tidy it up with some Screaming Skull if we want to. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the extra lines on the wings. So we need 2 on this side, like that. And then we need 3 over here. Like that. And then what we need to do is on the inside track of these wings, draw a circle, rounded line coming down to the leg, going across the leg, and then up into the plumage. Like that. And that is the outline of our bird. So now all that's left to do is to block it in, tidy it up, and add the few extra little embellishments such as the talons and things towards the ends of the legs with our Gal-Vorbak Red. And there we have it with the bases all complete. Same style as usual, Stirland Mud and Black Templar for the rocks, and then dry brush the whole lot with Tyrant Skull. Our Hill Tribesmen Commanders are now finished, and it's really cool to have some more command options for the Hill Tribesmen, especially for those of you who intend to sally forth and burn the Westfold. I don't know why you would do that. Rohan is so much cooler than these guys after all. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member
by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.